You want to lose weight fast. Well, I'm here to tell you, you literally clicked on the best video, so let's get it. Okay, so you clicked on this video because you're trying to get snatched before the summer or just in general, right? Like you just want to lose that extra 15, 20, 25 pounds that just seems to just not be able to get off. I'm going to tell you right now how to lose that weight quickly, safely, and without exercise. So you're going to want to listen to the entire video because it's going to be a good one. Number one, drink green tea at least 3 times a day. Green tea has been known to speed up your metabolism. There's properties in it that literally speed up your metabolism, okay? So if you don't like to have caffeinated drinks, they do have decaf. It still has the same effect, but definitely tap into green tea. You can get it from Amazon, obviously any kind of grocery store. Try to get organic as much as you can, but green tea, you guys, I'm telling you. So number one, really quickly, I forgot to mention this. I lost 30 pounds myself and never gained it back. I lost 30 pounds 7 years ago, and I never did the gain it back, lose it again, gain it back, lose it again. So these are things that I embodied. I like to say embodied because it's not like, oh, these are just tips and tricks. And I know I said, tips at the beginning, but these are embodied habits, right? Like these are part of my identity where I never gained the weight back again, right? So green tea is a great way to speed up your metabolism without a lot of effort. Have it with your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and just pair those two together. Do it for 30 days straight. Paired with the rest of these embodied habits that I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna lose the weight. Number two, we hear this all the time, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of a twist on it. Get more sleep. You have to get the sleep. If you are not getting the correct amount of sleep for your body, you are literally forcing your body to hold on to anything that you put in. So any food, which is energy, that goes into our body, if it goes into our body and our body is on the way going to sleep, I'm going to tell you a little bit more of a twist and a little bit, give you a different perspective on it than you're probably used to hearing. So you got to get more sleep. And here's why. When we go to sleep, obviously our body is supposed to rest and restore. So I really want you to get those two words, rest and restore. So when you put food into your body and it's been doing all these functions like the digestive function, it's breathing, our lungs are doing things, our blood is pumping through our veins, our heart is beating, as you are listening to me and I'm speaking, right? And our body needs time to shut down, rest and restore, relax. Our cells have been doing things all day. So when you only get 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep, it's just not enough time for your body to be able to work optimally. When you are either A, eating super late, or B, not getting enough sleep, those two paired together, your body's just not having enough energy the next day to be able to break down the rest of either fat storage or the food that you're currently about to eat, right? So sleep is just super important. Don't neglect it. It's not, and I understand if you are going after your dreams and your goals, but you gotta either catch up on it at a certain point or make it a priority in your life. Let's just say, for example, if you go out on the weekends, right? I don't know what your lifestyle is like, but I'm gonna use this example and hopefully you can apply it to other areas. If you're somebody that goes out, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? At least do yourself a favor and go to sleep early Monday through Thursday. Work with yourself, work with your schedule, work with what you know is gonna work best for your lifestyle. We can't just say, oh, I'm just comfortable getting 4 hours of sleep and I expect to lose 25 to 30 pounds. Our bodies physically, literally need the energy to rest so that way it can do the functions we want it to do for us the next day, which is to tap into the fat storage for energy. Number 3, I tapped into it already. I feel like this was a huge game changer. Do not eat 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep. So if you're somebody that goes to sleep at 11 p.m. typically every night, stop eating at 7 p.m. If you're somebody that goes to sleep at midnight, stop eating at 8 p.m. Now, what I want to give you a little extra on that, our bodies work the best during when the sun's out. Our body is, whether we like it or not, it's synced up with the circadian rhythm of the sun, okay? So if you're eating at 8 p.m. and you usually go to sleep at 12 p.m., yes, that's technically falling under the rule of not eating 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep, but our body by that time of night is already shutting down and getting ready to rest and restore. So it's not working, like our metabolism and our digestive system isn't working at its optimal, fastest time period, right? So if you go to sleep at 12, I would even still say try to not eat after 6:45, 7 p.m. if you can. That was a huge game changer for me. I did not do a midnight snack. When I had gained that 20 to 30 pounds, when I was really trying to lose that weight, if I was out at an event, I didn't on the way home, stop at Taco Bell or, do a party and there was a ton of food and I didn't eat it, right? Because I was aware that my body is not tapping into the fat for energy right now. All my body's going to do is just hold on to it. So I really wanted to lose the weight. If you are to just do it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And that is why I was able to not gain the weight and do this. It's because I actually embodied the lifestyle. So that way, if for some reason I do happen to eat late at night now, I'm not going to, blow up, right? It's because I've been doing it for so long that if I shock my body a little bit here and there and eat at midnight for whatever reason, it's fine. But just do it for 30, 60, 90 days. It's such an easy fix and your body's worth it. Your body's going to love you. You're worth it. You've been trying to get this weight off for so long and it's time to just actually put these habits in place, habits and systems in place where you can actually embody the type of lifestyle where you're losing fat on autopilot, right? So just don't eat 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep. Arguably, if you could go to sleep earlier, that would be even better. If you go to sleep at midnight or 1 a.m, still don't eat super late. So I would say 7 is a late. Like for me, I've been doing 5 p.m. So I noticed that I can even almost eat not as clean, but if I'm done eating by 5 p.m. and usually I'm fast asleep by 10 p.m. 80% of the time, that's 5 hours that my body was already, it's still using the energy because again, still doing things from 5 to 10 p.m., whether it's like you're still at work or have kids or whatever it is, or you go to the gym after work, whatever it is. I let my body use up all the fuel that I put in my body for the day. I let it use it up from 5 to 10. Then I'm going to sleep, right? For 8 hours, I usually get up at 5 or 6 a.m. And then I don't eat until 9. So it's like I have this huge window of time where my body's just resting, restoring, and tapping into the fat and burning it for energy, right? So definitely try that out. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that, if you've ever tried it, or if you do try it in the future, come back to this video and let me know. I really want to hear more from you guys. I love making videos about this and I want to see more comments. So let me know down below. Cut out sugar. It is what it is. I don't want to hear it. It is what it is. If you are trying to lose 25 to 30 pounds, you got to cut the sugar. Now, all of this kind of ties together, right? Because if you're not eating super late, if you're getting a full 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep, if you are drinking the green tea that's going to help you burn calorie, it's going to speed up your metabolism, and you're not eating sugar, all that combination together is lethal, right? Like just that alone is going to turn your body into a fat burning machine. The sugar. What I want to say is you don't have to stop eating sugar for the rest of your life. I definitely am obsessed with sugary things, cakes, cookies, all those things. But I had to be honest with myself. I had to cut it out for 6 months. I'm not telling you in this video to cut it out for 6 months, but that's how serious I was. I was like, okay, what can I do? What are my options? How can I still feel like I'm not depriving myself? And to be honest, it was a little bit difficult the first 2 weeks, but after that, I was able to tap into this natural energy that was always sitting there ready for me to use. But because I was eating sugar, a lot of products with sugar in it, my body was like, okay, well, we'll just, keep relying on that, right? We'll keep relying on the processed sugar, the processed foods. But once I got rid of the sugar, I started using organic stevia. I started using raw organic honey. I started using agave, and I started using things like dates and just figuring out other ways to sweeten up my stuff. And of course, let's be honest, it doesn't taste as good as sugar. But once I did it for 6 months, I noticed that once I went back to dibbling and dabbling in sugar, things were just too sweet, right? So it's almost like my palate kind of balanced back out to where it probably should be because I allowed my body to kind of detox from the sugar. And there's just so many benefits from getting rid of sugar anyway. Obviously, more longevity in your life. You literally do start to look younger. So that's a whole nother video. you tap into your natural energy. You have less processed sugar running through your body. So it gives you less brain fog, less breakouts if you have issues with acne. I did for many years. It got rid of that. So get rid of the sugar, do it for 30 days, do it for 60 days, do it for 90 days. And then once you have lost the 25 to 30 pounds, then you can go back and start to introduce some things sometimes, right? Like a birthday cake at your nephew's birthday party, or, if you have children. But if you have, and again, I am not a mother yet, but I have family members and friends that are, and they're able to balance it out. So if you are somebody that's a mother and you're watching this, get the whole household on board with you to help you lose this weight. I'll do a whole separate video on that, but that's also super important too. Like if you are trying to lose 25 to 30 pounds and people are constantly shoving sugar in front of your face, you gotta check them, right? You gotta say, hey, look, I'm really trying to lose this 25 to 30 pounds. It's gonna make me feel better, mind, body, soul, inside and out, right? Like we're not doing everything for aesthetics, but one of the benefits is that you look better depending on whatever standards of beauty you go by. Get the whole household on board with you and cut the sugar, okay? It spikes our glucose, it spikes our blood sugar, it sends out a ton of insulin in our body, and sometimes, if you're overdoing it, you can become insulin resistant, and it could lead to diabetes. And it's a real thing. Like there's people that I know that are 30 and younger that are pre-diabetic. Like I actually know them. Like they're very close to me. I don't want to say if they're a friend or a family member, but they're extremely close to me and they're pre-diabetic. And I was shooketh when I found that out, because of all the processed sugar, because not only from pastries and cakes, but all the pastas, overdoing it on white rice, overdoing it on white bread, just all these, even the brown bread. I mean, honestly, it's just, again, I don't want to overload you too much, but I hope you got my point. Get rid of the sugar if you're really trying to lose the 25 to 30 pounds. Okay. Number 5, I'm not going to go too hard with it because I just kind of did, but the processed food in general. So anything in a box, cereals, the chips, all the different kind of snacks that are in. I even stayed away, you guys, from protein bars. And I love protein bars, but I've learned how to make my own little bars at home, which maybe I'll show you guys one day. But even like the protein bars with all of the chemicals in it, just try to stay away from anything that's in a package, like a box, or you guys know what I'm talking about, like anything that, the flour, the starches, the flours, like all that stuff is just getting backed up in your system. And you're not going to be able to tap into really losing weight. You're just going to kind of maintain and slowly continue to gain, 1 or 2 pounds every single year. So just do yourself a favor, again, 30, 60, 90 days, cut out the processed food. Then once you have lost the 25 to 30 pounds, do the processed food 15 to 20% of the time. That's how I never yo-yoed. I never went back to just eating whatever I wanted and just eating a ton of pasta, a ton of this, a ton of that. Of course, when I'm out to dinner and I'm at a fire restaurant and it has amazing pasta, of course, I'm going to try the pasta. I'm going to have the pasta. It is what it is. But if you want to really lose the weight and keep it off, there's going to have to be an embodiment of knowing that those things can't be had every single day. Maybe in Italy, I know whatever they got going on and however they make their pasta over there in Italy is amazing. It's just not like that in America. So if you're in America and you're watching this, it is what it is. Just tap into that. I'm not trying to tell you to deprive yourself. I'm trying to help you get embodied with balancing and being in harmony with how this beautiful shell that our soul lives in needs to be worked with, and it needs to function, and we need to work together so that way it does what we want, we do what it wants, and it's just like we're in this beautiful harmonic coexisting together. Okay, I don't want to get too spiritual woo on you, but that's what it is, right? Number 6. Okay, so this is another little tip that's very, very impactful. Again, you can look this up, but eat your protein first. So if you are having, let's just say if I don't eat meat, but if you do eat meat and you're having you have chicken, let's say you have potatoes and you have some vegetables and you have something else, whatever. Eat the protein first. What you'll notice is that every time you eat your protein first, your body will feel more satiated. So it will just feel more fulfilled. Like it won't need to eat as much and not eat as quickly, because protein has a high satiety rate in comparison to other macronutrients. So just try that out. 30, 60, 90 days, along with the other tips. If you eat protein first, you're more than likely not going to have as much of the potatoes that are on your plate, or you're not going to have as much of the French fries on your plate or the pasta on your plate, right? So you can still have that stuff, but have the protein first, eat the veggies, and then have the starchy stuff last. And you probably either A, won't want to eat it, or you'll just eat less of it. Or let me take a little drink, because I'm giving you all the tea right now. So let me drink my tea. So because of its high satiety rate, you will feel fuller quicker. So you just won't want to eat as many calories, which in turn will help you not intake or over intake too many calories, and your body can actually burn what it needs to, and you'll start to lose weight. So do that along with the other tips that I just said, and you will lose the weight, okay? 30, 60, 90 days. The reason why I'm saying 30, 60, 90 is because you got to think about yourself as an experiment. And a true, real good experiment is doing something for 90 days. You can genuinely say, look, I did all these tips for 90 days and it didn't work. Or I did these tips for 90 days and half of it worked. And you could just really be done with that, right? Like I did keto for 90 days. That didn't necessarily work for me a ton. It worked a little bit. Like I love oils, like I love avocado, I love olive oil. Like I fell in love with olive oil. But because I'm plant-based, like that, the keto diet it's just too hard for me. So I know that for a fact. So I will never be doing keto. And I feel really good about knowing that I don't even have to go down that rabbit hole of should I go back? Should I not do it? Because I really did it for 90 days at one point. I may do a video on that in the future, and I just don't need to do it. So that's why I keep saying I really want to just say 90 days, but I'm trying to be nice. 30, 60, 90 days, but really just do these tips for 90 days and you will lose 25 to 30 pounds. I'm telling you, it's 2 pounds a week, right? 2 to 3 pounds a week in a healthy way over 90 days. It'll be done. And then you can just dibble dabble. And if you gain back 4 pounds, it's fine. And then you just go back, get back on your regimen and cut out the processed food for 2 weeks. You'll lose the 4 pounds, and then you never yo-yo up and down with your weight. That's how you do it. Okay, next tip. You're going to want to plan out your meals for the week. Everybody says that, but let me give you a different little perspective, okay? I'm not sitting there saying you need to meal prep and have everything in a nice little black plastic container, perfectly put in your refrigerator, and it looks like an Instagram reel. That's not what I'm saying. But there's got to be some staple meals that like 5 to 7 meals that are healthy, tasty, that are always available in your kitchen, right? So for me, I'm obsessed with parfaits. So for the last 3 months, that's just what I've been having. Parfaits, I fill it up with 100% cacao, blueberries, raspberries, cinnamon, raw honey, chia seeds, my flax seeds, and I put my protein powder in there. And it's just like this 20 to 30 grams of protein packed, amazing, tasty meal. And that's just been my breakfast. I'm sure I'll probably switch it up, but that's just been my thing. So I always have those ingredients that I need for my parfaits in my kitchen. Like I never not have it. Another thing is I love to have nice raw salad. Again, that's just my thing. And I have to have olive oil in my kitchen, okay? I have to have avocados in my kitchen. So I love having a really nutrient-packed, nutrient-dense, huge raw salad that's like really filling, and I just like make my own little olive oil dressing, and I season it up with like sea salt and pepper and cumin and dill and rosemary, and just like basically all these little ingredients of magic in my cupboard. I make my own little olive oil dressing, and I put it over my salad filled with, like, of course, all the vegetables you can think of. So I just make sure to have a lot of vegetables. Like I look forward to it. It feels good. It's just so tasty. I've just perfected it to where I love it. So again, I'm not saying you need to have 2 things, but because I know that those are 2 staples that I have to have, those are always in my refrigerator. So that way when it's time to eat, I just know, okay, boom, I already know what I'm gonna throw together, right? So a lot of times when we're just kind of scattered with trying to figure out what we're gonna eat, a lot of times we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot with that because we don't really have all the ingredients, or we have two things to make our meal really fire, but we're just missing that third thing, and then we're like, forget it, let's just eat out, and then this weekend, and then we'll figure it out again next week. It's just like, don't do that to yourself. Just pick a day, go to the grocery store, or if you do grocery delivery, whatever you do, and have 5 to 7 meals thought out in your head, and then just get those groceries, and then you just always have that in your refrigerator, so that way you're not setting yourself up for failure by just eating fast food because you just never have anything to eat in the kitchen, or there's nothing in the refrigerator, even though it's filled with all these things. It's like, it's usually most of the time when people say that, and I used to be one of them, it's like, there's just nothing to eat. And then I open the refrigerator and there's a ton of food in there, but then there's nothing to eat. What I'm really saying is there's nothing that's going to give me pleasure when I eat it in the refrigerator. So jot down 5 to 7 healthy meals that are tasty, that are healthy, nutrient packed, amazing food, and have it in your refrigerator. So set yourself up for success with that, okay? It doesn't have to be perfectly done. Of course, that method works really well for a lot of people. Having it in, packed up and ready to go in the black containers, in your refrigerator, ready for an Instagram reel, you can do that. But if you want to do kind of a midway, just make sure to have the correct things in your kitchen. Are going to put together a meal that you love, okay? So pair that with everything else I said. So the next one, guys, this one is interesting because I don't do it at all anymore. And I actually don't really promote people doing this, but I do think that everyone should do it at least for 30, 60, 90 days just to understand what they really are eating. So tracking what you eat and tracking your calories. Of course, everyone's heard of MyFitnessPal. Download that. It's a great fitness tracker, but we're having a real conversation here, okay? So this is layered, okay? I'm not going to say, make sure you do your fitness tracking and, calories in versus calories out, okay? No, it's layered. Okay, so the reason why I don't really promote calorie tracking is because I just don't feel like it meshes with like normal life. Like, are you really going to sit there at every single meal, every single birthday party, every single vacation, every single work dinner, and just you're going to be sitting there really counting your calories, and then we kind of get an attachment to it, like, oh my gosh, I didn't really count my calories. Now I feel bad because I failed at that, and I just fail at everything. It's like, no. That's why I don't really promote it, but I know other people do. It depends. That's your thing. The reason why I do encourage to do it at least once is because it just gives you so much knowledge about how much calories are really in things and what you're really eating. So for example, like peanut butter, I didn't realize how high in calories peanut butter is, or peanuts are. I just had no idea. I thought like, okay, cool. I'm just, they're small. There's no sugar on them, and I'm just popping them in my mouth, not realizing that I was having 400 calories, 400 calories in peanuts. And then wondering, when I had gained the 30 pounds when I was 29 years old, and was wondering, well, what's the deal, but I was snacking on peanuts all the time. That's 400 to 500 calories in just peanuts alone. And then I was still having my, 3 big meals or whatever. So it just gives you a lot of knowledge. And then, so now I just know those things, right? Like I'm sure I could probably do it again for like 30 days just to get refreshed on how many calories are in each thing or how much sugar is in each thing. It's kind of fun to learn those things. But then once you kind of get an idea for 30, 60, 90 days of tracking your food, then you're like, okay, I get it. I don't need to track it all the time. I kind of have an idea. Now, if you want shredded abs, that's a different story, and that you might have to really track if you really want to have shredded abs. So I'm not going to talk too much about that, but this is if you want to just lose 25, 30 pounds, get a nice flat tummy, and keep it pushing, right? Okay, so next one. The next one is a big one because we all do it. I still do it. And I'm trying to actually lose like the last 6-7 pounds to really have my weight training pop through that I've been working on. But anyways, it's snacking. I guarantee you snack more than you think. And when you're snacking, it's probably most of the time not healthy. And then because it's a snack, right? It's a snack, it's small, we just think it just doesn't count or something. I know we know it counts, but it's almost like it's okay. It's just it's a couple handfuls, right? But then you're doing a couple handfuls every hour. So you're not really ever giving your body time to utilize the energy that we put in. So it's like, say you have a nice lunch and then you're going to have dinner, right? So say you're going to have dinner 4 hours later. That 4 hours we should give our body a chance to just process the lunch, right? Like, we're not going to starve. We're going to be able to eat just 4 hours later. Like, it's fine. We don't do that. We have a protein bar, and then we'll have maybe some nuts. We'll have some chips. We'll have, I don't know, like if you're into candy, if you eat candy, it's like we'll have like just a little bit of candy, and then we'll have a little bit, and then everything ends up being a big snack meal, technically. Like, just imagine a big old plate with a bunch of snacks on it that we snacked on for those 4 hours. And then, and then we have our late dinner, and then we're going to sleep late. And then it's just like, see how it piles onto each other? So stop the snacking. Just have breakfast, lunch, dinner, no snacks. No snack. You don't really need them. I don't know. I actually kind of want to research, or if you guys know, let me know in the comments where snacking even came from. Because I actually asked my mom, I was like, did people snack a lot in the 60s and 70s, like at work? And she was like, not really, no. So I don't know if that's just a thing that like kind of evolved into something. Or like my grandma, I don't remember her ever talking about snacking like while she went to work. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know when humans started snacking, because I don't think our ancestors were snacking. I don't think that they were snacking in the 1800s, 1900, or 1700s, 1600s. Like, I just don't know where that came from. So that's like a weird thing to want to research, but let me know. But you don't need to do it, okay? You just don't need to. Of course, if you have a medical condition or you have like a sugar issue or things like that, that's separate. Again, do what you will with the information that I'm giving you, because these are just things that have worked for me. But snacking, it's like you can go 4 hours at a time without having a bite of food. Just drink some water. Okay, last one, and it's probably the most important one, is reducing your stress. You got to reduce your stress. If you are stressed out about a job you hate, stressed out about a spouse that you don't want to be with, stressed out about your kids, stressed out about your weight, your body will literally hold on to the weight because of something called cortisol. It's a real thing. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to take it in. I was just like, okay, that's cool for everybody else, but my body is different. No, we all have cortisol. Most of the time, more than likely, your body is going to be in a state of fight or flight when it is going through a lot of stress. And in order for the body to protect itself, it literally sends out rushes of cortisol. And so cortisol is literally what tells our body to hold on to the fat, especially in our stomach area. So if you can reduce your stress, again, whatever you got to do, whether it's meditation, getting enough sleep, or getting a new job. I mean, that's a whole nother video for another day. But I actually literally quit my job because it was stressing me out that much. And once I quit my job, it was like and I don't know if that's why I really never just gained the weight back for 7 years now, but stress is a real thing, and it's supposed to keep us, the fat on our body is supposed to actually keep us safe. But a lot of times we're like, no, but we like don't want to be looking at the fat, right? So again, just do what you can to do stress management, reading a book. And the main point of this video was not using exercise, but go on a walk, right? Go on a walk, do something to keep your stress down. Go to the beach if you live close to a beach. Go to a beautiful park and just hang out, be in the sun, right? Like do a picnic day with your family. Do things to keep your stress down. And studies have shown getting out in nature will really reduce your stress. So if you just reduce your stress and do all the other tips that I listed off in this video, which I'm actually going to discuss in this video, I'm telling you, you will lose the 25 to 30 pounds and never gain it back. So the reason why I love all these tips together is because, again, it turns your body into a fat burning machine. You don't have to necessarily work out, which I do encourage you to work out, but that's for another video. And I talk a lot about these tips and even more in my How to Lose Belly Fat ebook guide, which you can click the link down below and get. But make sure you implement it 30, 60, 90 days, preferably 90 days. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like. And I also, if you want to dive deeper into really incorporating these tips and more tips and workouts, check out the link below. I will link other videos that I have about this topic below, and you're going to want to check those out, and you're going to want to just do all the tips together and really get the fat off, get the weight off, and get the body of your dreams, and get the confidence of your dreams, and just get back to yourself, okay? So definitely, I love that you made it this far in the video. I appreciate you. I love every single one of my subscribers. If you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.